out, how way, ay, 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 ay. How we out, ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. How way, ay, 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 ay. How way, ay, 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 ay.
Welcome back to The Bridge with Kira, and thank you for staying tuned. That was great insight that Linda and I were able to share together. I'm really appreciative of that. And you won't be disappointed with my next guest, Ta'Sina. Ta'Sina has been in camp since August, and she is committed, and we're really proud of her. So let's see if we can't get her on the line here.
Hello.
Hi, Ta'Sina. Welcome to The Bridge.
Hey, Kira. How's it going?
Good. Glad that you could come back. I was just
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure. I was just telling the listeners how you've been in camp since August 12th, I believe. Mm-hmm. And you're just a committed water protector. You've been there on the front lines for 4 months now. And so much has happened since the last time that we spoke. And we're in a totally different situation than we were in the summer when things were magical and just getting started, and we have a seeming victory that's not really quite the victory that it's been presented to be. Are you in camp now, or were you?
Yes, I'm at what we call the IP3 camp in Osage County. It's kind of kitty corner to where the highway is 1806 there. It's like to the west of us. We're like right there by the highway, and then it goes over to where the bridge is at, where the police have their barricade. I don't know if they put it down. It's still there. The barricade's still there though. So
yeah.
I'm actually visiting with the Youth Council. They've been doing a lot of work here. Although IP3 and Red Warrior, those are some camps to name that are here in the camp, as well as Sacred Stone, who have been doing marvelous efforts to help, solve this problem that we've been facing throughout this whole battle. I mean, right now, in the camp, there's a lot of, it's safe to say, confusion. People have come here with a lot of heart, and have given up so much for this fight and have endured a lot, both physical, emotional, mental, even psychological pain, or even warfare, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. It's a lot for frontliners here to handle, and then to have the cold hit. I mean, we're good. I think we're warm. Nobody is getting hypothermia. I mean, there were a couple reports that some people did get sick, and which is true. But they're fine. They're well. They're healthy. We have medics. We're good. It's just like a community, any other community, but more on sustainable type of living that is more suitable for the environment, that would actually, wouldn't be a detriment like this pipeline will be. But
right.
The campers here, there's just so much heart, and it's a little disheartening in all aspects when you're promised something from a government, or even a corporation like Energy Transfer Partners, or even just the Army Corps of Engineers, where they would say that they're going to halt construction, or even Obama himself saying that they're denying easements. We've been lied to throughout this whole fight. That's what people who haven't been here as long as, throughout this whole fight understand. There have been times in camp where they have said that they're going to halt construction and that they're no longer going to proceed. Or when Obama asked the Army Corps or DAPL to voluntarily step down back on September 14th or whenever it was. It was sometime in September. I mean, they've been doing this to us for months now. Mm-hmm. And they would not be nowhere near as completed I mean, had they said that they were going to halt. I mean, they would have been halted way miles and miles back. But they're all the way up to the river now. You hear them drilling at night. That's where we're at here. The drill, they're still drilling. We have drone footage. It's on Facebook. It's circulating throughout social media. Some of the drone footage that we caught, drone to be wild, caught yesterday. And I mean, you can see them operating full and well. You know,
yeah.
It's scary because a lot of us, we have come into the site saying that we're willing to die for this and at any cost, at any length, so that we can protect our Mother Earth, so we can protect our people. And when the drill is going, everything that we said and come here for feels as if it was done for nothing. And then there's a lot of political matters that also go within the camp because for safety concerns of the people, you know, and I understand that wholeheartedly. If, you know, people are scared about being harmed or the cold weather or not being able to go or having to go without.
Right.
Now, there's a lot of us in this site who have gone without before in life, who have struggled before and know how to live that kind of struggle. And always find a suitable and sustainable way of living because that's what life does. We overcome. We find ways to it's animalistic too. It's also in our DNA to be that I guess
resourceful.
Yeah, resourceful. Yeah, to survival.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking for. It's all about survival. I mean, and if people would stop trying to get them a hype about things that, like when they were, the whole camp was in fear last week before December 5th came, about a huge raid that was going to happen by the Morgan County Sheriff's Department and ways on, if we had evacuation plans. Now, to me, that's inflicting fear onto people as a scare tactic. It's used all the time in war. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so that the people have something else and have their focus on something else and distracting them from the greater issue, like the drill. We have this. It's funny. We have something in camp where we say, "Meanwhile, at the drill pad," you know, and it's true though, because you can hear them drilling. I don't know if anybody has a connection with the earth or their mother. If you are penetrating this earth, it's like penetrating our mothers. It's a disrespect to our women. It is a disrespect to all of life itself. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking about harmful chemicals here that are in tar sands that will, I mean, there was an oil spill just up north in North Dakota last week, or how long ago, I can't even think of, it was recent, in the last month, I would say. And you then they still want to keep going on with the drill. Oh, we're going to proceed as planned. We're going to keep on going and raping our Mother Earth. We're going to keep on going and inflict genocide onto an indigenous people, and not just indigenous, to the whole human race.
The human race and everything that lives. Everything that lives. You know,
anything that doesn't have a dollar sign on its head. You know, you're killing people for money, for the cruel greed of the 1% to flourish, for them to, you know, keep on living their nice high life in suburbia of where's Kelsey? Where it's Dallas, Texas, or wherever he's in Texas. You know, big old mansions. I mean, come on now, man. How can one call themselves a decent human being? A decent human being when you have all this life, all this energy, all these hearts, all these minds, all these spirits, and then try to support a company like Apple. How can you call yourself a decent human being? You can't.
You can't. And you brought up the Drone to be Wild footage, and they've been doing incredible work. They are the ones who are lifting the veil off this thing. They're the ones who are able to say, oh, Morton County Sheriff's Department said this. Well, this footage proves that to be a total lie. And they've done that like a gazillion times. But all the police have to do is say, we got reports of blah, 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 not ever proven, not ever, from who? They got those reports from themselves, that paints, water protectors in a bad light. It's a fact-free existence. If you are the police, you're just believed, even though you've been proven time and time and time again to be liars. And the water protectors have proven themselves time and time and time again to not be armed, not have pipe bombs, not be, violent.
Oh, going in completely unarmed, Kira. I mean, we are standing here with nothing more than maybe our cell phones, sage, tobacco, ties, or even some of our some artifacts that we find sacred, like a staff or a chanupa, like a sacred pipe, or we are harmless. I mean, and it's so powerful how our voices and what our voices can do, or how our voices can create that effect on others to instill fear. They're scared of us. They don't want to hear us. They want us to go away. They want us to shut up. We're not going to shut up. I mean, this has been something that happened to my grandfathers and my grandfather's grandfathers and my grandfather's grandfather's grandfathers. We're not going away. And I don't want my son and the next generation, the 8th generation, to grow up in a world where you're going to be having to go away and you're going to be brainwashed into a systematic routine so that you are distracted by becoming a robot, by not being heard, and living at poor levels and getting sick and just distracting you. It's a sick way of living. There's no American dream about it anymore. When you're indigenous in this country, it's third world living, and it's a lot. Racism is alive and well today, as it was 60 years ago, even 10 years ago. I mean, it's
very much alive and well, and they expected.
This is our stand.
They expected you all to just roll over. And they keep their system in place with violence, the violence of poverty, the literal physical violence that they're inflicting upon everybody there, and the psychological violence, the emotional violence of these wins that aren't really wins, the psyops, and the DAPL workers and mercenaries who are willing to kill or severely maim and harm. People being, threatened in the streets over and over.
Yes.
Just this last week, we caught that on film.
We got called freaks. We went to an action about a few weeks ago, or it might have been a month ago by now, and where Black Lives Matter, Brown Berets, they set up what we call a noise demonstration, where we go out and we chant no DAPL, things that encouraging words, our chants that we, and when we were there, we were leaving to go to another location to free Red Fawn and present a noise demo, sing our songs, do prayer ceremonies outside the Morton County Sheriff's department where she was being held. And as we were driving in the back of the pickup, a man was driving the opposite direction and yelled out his window, "Go home, you effing freaks. Go home, you effing freaks. You're nothing but effing freaks." And I mean, there's so much hate, and we weren't even doing anything but sitting in the back of this pickup, and we were like joking around and laughing and even singing some prayer songs. And then out of nowhere, a rude guy just happens to drive on by, "You effing freaks, F you." And it doesn't bug us, but that's what we're dealing with, and these people are so hateful that they're willing to go to great lengths to harm us. Where we had an individual, a man, shoot off his pistol right in front of my sister and I at that action, actually, that same day, outside his pickup. He shot off 7 rounds. You know, that was one of the most scariest things I have ever really been around in my entire life, because he wanted to harm us. He wanted to kill us. And that's the thing about this country now, is that we're so divided, and we're willing to let, I'm not willing to, but they're willing to let religion, politics, money, oil, fossil fuels, you know, everything, possessions, to, you know, control them, and they're willing to protect that stuff rather than us. They're wanting to actually kill us for that stuff. I mean, it's baffling. It is. It's a scary thing, and there's a lot of us who are now having reports of having PTSD, and it's understandable. You know, we go through a lot. We've seen a lot together. We're all a family here. We're a community. We see each other's faces. We see each other on the front line. We see each other when we come back to the camp and eat at the mess hall, or eat together, or have our little prayers, or sit around talking together around a fire. We see each other. But when we see each other get harmed, like what happened to Sophia, or like what happened to some of our youth council members, or what happened to some of our frontliners, or anybody, where a girl lost her eye vision, you know, yes. It hurts. It affects all of us, and in ways where we never really were taught the ways to cope with that. You know, some of us were really fortunate enough to get those type of skills to cope with seeing things like that. And it's actually disheartening. And that's what keeps us here, though, because we are a family. We do this together, and we need to quit being so divided. I mean, there is a lot of division and political things that go within the camp. You know, when to construct, or when to demonstrate prayer, when to have, you know, certain meetings, or have certain views on certain actions. And it's high stress, and it's understandable if others, you know, feel like they want to protect some that want to do certain decisions that they don't agree with. And you got to find ways to work around it, because at the end of the day, it's going to be, we're the ones who have been here, and we're the ones who have been throughout this fight, and we've grown together as a people, and we're going to stick it out together. Regardless if we have to lay out the whole truth to each other, we're going to overcome, because that's what we do as a people. We always overcome.
Yeah, and what outsiders don't realize is that, or non-Indians, is the amount of diversity and different groups that it really took to come together. Even just Indigenous groups alone, the amount of diversity within just the Indigenous groups it's an incredible feat of organization. And you know, from the very beginning, there has been differences in tactics, differences, and I mean, there's a group of elders there from the beginning that never really wanted to do these actions. They just wanted to do the prayer, and that was going to take care of everything. And so that's rearing its ugly head again now that everyone's been told to go home. That old tension between our action, the younger people saying our actions are our prayers, and this particular group of elders who were like, we just want to pray. That's all we want to.
Well, what they failed to realize, those individuals, what they failed to realize is some of them weren't even from here. And when they are done with their little prayers or whatever they feel, they can go back home. To a lot of us, this is my home. This is our home. We don't have, apartments or houses or cars or jobs or things to go back to. A lot of us sacrifice everything because this is our home. Wherever our heart is, or our prayer is, our spirit, that's where we will be. And that's where some of them, when it comes to the whole prayer dilemma, it's everything we do is a prayer. Everything, wherever our spirit is guided, that's who we are. That's who we are as an individual. I mean, it's not up to another one to tell you where your spirit goes. And that's a colonization tactic. It's colonizing the people. You can pray for their spirit instead. You can try to make them understand. You can try, but you can't tell them what to do. You can't tell them how to pray. You can't tell them when to pray or when to go here or when to go there, where to stand there, where to stand there, where to talk here, where to talk there. We keep talking about one heart, one mind, one body, one spirit, one soul, one Mother Earth. We are the land. You can't tell me where to step on myself.
Right.
If I'm the land, you can't tell me where to step on myself. And that's what my elders have always taught me. I mean, I'm still young. I got a lot to learn. I listen to what the elders have to say, but then my elders also told me to know a fine line between elders and olders and to listen what they have to say. You may not have to agree with what they have to say, but hear them out, bite your tongue, and then you choose in your own spirit and in your own mind which is the right path to take.
Yep.
Because at the end, it's your spirit who is going to be going 6 feet under whenever we pass. It's our own spirit and the choices that we make in life to live to the fullest. I mean, to fulfill what we couldn't have. Imagine if some of the actions that we had done in the past, beautiful actions that Red Warrior, IP3, a lot of camps that correlated and just regular Akita talk here, if some of those actions did not go through, where Dapple would have been at right now, they would have been done.
Yep.
I mean, think if we had that back then when they were telling, and they condemned us a lot for going into those actions and going and doing that stuff. But imagine had we not done that. I mean, this is we are given one choice, one life. We're only given one life to live. If you're going to make a change, you got to jump and do it. It takes that one jump. It takes the run that our youth council did. It takes the endurance that some of our Akichita and Red Warriors training down on equipment did. It takes a lot of warrior spirit. And then even with our media, how they go about their days and doing every best effort, spending sleepless nights trying to get our voices heard, trying to create these videos and make our message be heard. I mean, it comes from all aspects. Everybody who has sacrificed some bit of time or some type of thing here, they sacrifice something to be here to help this issue. No, and we just got to remember that about ourselves, because we do need to keep that spirit alive. We do need to keep that unity. But the more that we go against each other about how we go about things over little things, that's gonna be the thing that's gonna set us back as a people from winning a fight against a government that has been trying to wipe us out for centuries.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And I would say the same, for the tribal chairmans and the people who have to interact with the federal government to try to get this. I think that they're always put in these impossible positions. And certain, so even though you're going to stay and Chairman, Archambault said go, there's
Right now, there's a lot going on within the camp. People are actually wanting to leave because, I mean, right now they're going to just I don't know what's going on. The actions to get across to the river over to the drill pad, it's a safety issue. It's so cold out here.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to jeopardize putting anybody in harm's way because of hypothermia or because of anything that they may experience due to, natural causes, not the environment. And it's, the climate up here, it's pretty hazardous. And those of us that lived here our whole lives know it gets pretty, it gets deadly out here sometimes with our harsh winters. And so there's a lot of the camp that will be breaking up, but it's not over. That's the thing. It's not over. It's not going to end, because there are people that will be going to other places around the country who, like the Spectra pipeline in New York, or the Mississippi stand down south, or even Iowa, where they're still fighting their pipeline, or even up in Canada. We're not going away. We're still here, and and there's talk of the Black Hills, which damn well I will be at. This is my home. I'm not, we need to start voicing this to the American public, that you can't just keep on taking and taking and taking and taking to the point where we have only so much left to protect. And even that, they're breaking it from us. They're trying to take it from us. We got to make a stand now. If we don't do it now, then my generation, my future generations that will be my legacy, they will have a harder war to fight. So it has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere, and it's not going to end, and it's not going to be over. It's a victory in so many ways of what we've endured here, what we've experienced, and the spiritual levels are astronomical. The experiences that we feel with one another, the vibrational frequencies that we let off with one another.
That's
it's
real
life
power.
changing, and it's life changing, and a lot of us are going home with changed lives, with a different perspective on life, definitely. And it's not like we're going home and we're going to go back to what we were doing prior to this fight. No, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep standing. What else left do we have to do? You know.
Now your calling, your full-time calling. Because we're headed into a very, very, an even darker time here. You and I were together in camp when we found out that Trump was elected. And
man. I remember how I was upset. But I don't know why I was so shocked, because when the camp found out that Trump was elected, we were just like, it was like a mess type thing, because we were like, okay, how did we not know this was going to happen? Actually, no, we knew damn well this was going to happen, but a lot of us are to the point where we don't give a shit anymore about the American government. It's rigged anyway. We feel like it's a conspiracy, It's just, with Obama and this last presidential office that we had the past 8 years. With him and his broken promises, we put a lot of faith into that guy. The Indigenous did. We went around putting pins up saying the native vote 2008, the native vote 2012. And that also created a lot of animosity among a lot of people around here in the camp, where they don't even care for what the government has to say anymore. But then there are individuals that still have hope, like the Greenpeace and what they're trying to do. I can understand. They're trying their best efforts to do anything, but right now we're at a point where we don't want to listen to any political figures at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
One piece, one mind, and one human race. It's the people's turn to start standing up and showing you how it's done, rather than the 1%.
Yeah, so it's only going to harden our resolve to resist, and in a way, and I said this, when we found out too, it's like after I got over the initial shock and cried a little bit. I said,
Trump winning, it was just like, okay, all right, revolution now. Calling all warriors, more warriors, revolution. Okay, hook up. And the veterans showed up, so we have our numbers. We know where the people's heart lie, and it's time for a new beginning. It really is.
Yeah, and this, even just his cabinet appointments and things like that are really helping to lift the veil on what's already been going on, this rigged system that we've been talking about forever, but people certainly couldn't see how the system was rigged under Obama. Certainly the left didn't see it, how the system was rigged, because the left tells, people on the left the lies they want to hear, and the right tells people on the right the lies they want to hear. So, but at least with somebody like Obama, he still had to keep up appearances of not, and
it's all for show. Nowadays it's all about media. It really is. Nowadays it's all about an image. It's all about Facebook. It's all about how you look to the people. It's never about honesty and truth anymore. It's never about the actual real issues that we face together as one people, as one nation. I am sorry. I laugh at individuals that, that just want their, fame for this whole thing. And then not only that, but just the vote for it too. It's just because they don't really care. And you can tell when you're a real human being and you're a decent human being, you're able to sense vibes. You're able to go off by impressions and things like that and know when somebody is telling the truth or telling a bold-faced lie. And to me, all the people that I've encountered that were political figures are liars. You can just sense it. You can get that vibrational frequency off them. So,
and that includes everyone, even leaders, political leaders within the tribes. A politician is a politician. So,
yes.
I'll leave that there. And just before, we have like a half hour left, I wanted to get a little bit into the Youth Council, and because I did meet people from the Youth Council, and I was really impressed with the caliber, basically, of people, just amazing people in that Youth Council.
Oh, yeah.
So if you just want to
the Youth Council are the International Indigenous Youth Council is made up of the next leaders of our generation. I can say that and mean it. All the individuals that are part of this council are beautiful, free-spirited souls with all different views on life and a new form of government, a new form of people, a new form of living. I can only speak nothing but high words of the Youth Council, and I am so honored to have been a part of them throughout not throughout the whole fight, but I joined with them September 30th, and just the messages that they're getting out there, even some of the prayer actions that they've done where you don't have to speak a word and you don't even have to make a noise to be heard. And that's one thing that the youth here we're setting new examples, new ways of voicing our issues, new ways of living together, and they're amazing. We're all family here. Each one of them are my sisters. Each one of them are my brothers. Each one of them, and their family members are like my aunties and my uncles and my moms and my grandmas. It's just the love that we have for each other, and making sure that each other's okay, making sure that each other's warm and fed and good, and it's a beautiful thing to see all of us come together like that. I mean, and to have the heart as young people, as the seventh generation, to keep on fighting, to have that spirit that our ancestors had. And the Youth Council, I can tell you, and I can assure you, they're not going anywhere. Their heart is with our people. Our heart is now with our people. Our heart is for our people. Our heart is for our new generations to come. And we are going to be fighting in these battles. It's going to be a long war against this government, but we are prepared for the long fight ahead. We are. And we're going to stick together as one and make sure that we are forever going to be heard from now on, rather than ignored and brushed under the rug.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I noticed there, is that you really listen to each other. Everybody has a say in the way that the Youth Council operates. We start in prayer, we connect to each other, and then we each have our own say. We listen to each other. So I think you guys are off to an amazing, I can't wait to see what you do based on what you've already done.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot more coming. I mean, if anybody who's been following the No Dapple fight throughout the past 4 months, I am telling you wholeheartedly now, there's way more to come. Way more energies, way more people. They're still coming. That's the cool thing about this whole thing, is there are still people coming. We are uniting, and you either there's something that one of our youth council members likes to say, and he likes to say, respect us or expect us. And it looks like they're going to be expecting a lot more of us since they're disrespecting us. So, you know, we're not going anywhere, and we're here to stay. We're making a stand.
How can people support the youth council?
Support the youth council. Let me get ways to donate to the youth council are, we have a GoFundMe, and it's on the IIYC page. You can find us on Facebook. It's the International Indigenous Youth Council. There's also a link there that can that has a GoFundMe attached to it if people want to donate. As far as clothes and stuff here, as donations like that, we're pretty good in that area. It's just more of like sustaining a way of living. So the GoFundMe page would be the best thing to do if they want to help donate for the cause. Okay,
great. And I do, you know, having met them, I would tell my listeners that, you know, they're worthy cause to support. And, you know, just... You still want to support.
No, this fight is definitely not over.
And also, I mean, even in terms of, you know, if people leave or if the youth council decides to...
We're branching out. That's like our, those are things that we're going to be doing in the near future, is finding ways to branch out with other youth organizations or youth councils, not just nationwide but internationally too, so that we can all come together and, you know, support each other and stand in solidarity. And you know, I can get so radical, so I'll just be quiet.
Well, I have some ideas about other youth groups to hook you guys up with. So I'll definitely send you those.
Okay, ideas. But we also have 2 chapters now for the youth council. We've grown pretty large in the last 2 months, just by meeting new people from the camp and them coming here and standing with us. So now we also have a chapter in Chicago for the International Indigenous Youth Council, and then we also have one in Denver, Colorado. So
wow, that's awesome.
Those are also ways. Yeah, those are also ways to keep up with what we are doing and just getting updates. I mean, we got big plans, and if you want to follow us on Facebook, that would be the best thing to do.
Excellent. Is there anybody? Are you there with the youth council now?
Oh yeah. We're
there that you know, has anything they want to share with the audience?
Does anybody from the youth council want to share something to Revolution Radio? Okay, here. I'm going to put you on the phone with, his name is Alex Howland. So
okay.
One moment.
Hello, how are you guys today?
Good. Hi, Alex. Welcome to the Bridge with Kira. And I don't know if you're one of the young people that I met when I was there, and I planned to get recordings of you guys, and of course that didn't work out, but we're going to keep track of what y'all are doing, because I was really impressed with you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, thank you for having us. I'm one of the co-founders of the International Indigenous Youth Council, so if you had any questions or anything, I'm so willing to help answer in any way I can.
Okay. Are you willing to partner with youth groups from churches and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Any ally is an ally. It's, all are welcome. Anyone's welcome. We ally with anyone. And yeah.
That's good. Okay. So I have some ideas about that. I think I would like to hook you guys up with the Quakers and their youth organization, which is really pretty active. And I am in the Washington, D.C. area. And today I met some people who are doing some lobbying for your movement on Capitol Hill. And the Congress people they said that they're really not getting a lot of visits right now. So I think that would be something that we could get our youth involved in, is doing some of that lobbying on Capitol Hill. So I don't know what you think about that idea, but I think it would be great.
I think it's a pretty great idea. Lobbying is definitely a way to definitely get some of the awareness out there. If they wanted to go ahead and contact us, they could contact us at IIYC standingrock@gmail.com. That's one way you can get a hold of us. You can also get a hold of us through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that good stuff. We have a Snapchat. It's all International Indigenous Youth Council. We primarily focus on, ending environmental racism, protecting land, water, and treaty rights, encouraging the youth, and their traditions, and to get more involved in their communities, and and to encourage us to rise as leaders through nonviolent, direct action and throughout all of Indian country.
This is wonderful. And as you know, the Quakers have been are pacifists, so they've been involved. They have been against every single war. They've been doing some of the training there too in nonviolent action, and they have committees that have been in place since the 1700s, and a historic relationship of partnering with Native people in a way that's beneficial. So I would love to. My son came with me there to Standing Rock, and he's now hanging out with the Quakers. So I think this would be a wonderful partnership, and I hope that I can get that together for you guys. Is there any needs that you have that are new and upcoming that haven't been talked about before, besides wood and and gas masks?
Yes, people. A lot of people think that this fight against the Dakota Access Pipeline is over because they've heard that the easement was denied. I would just like to tell everyone that it's not over. The Energy Transfer Partners did release a statement shortly after the Army Corps of Engineers denied the easement, saying that they will continue to drill, and basically they don't care what the Army Corps of Engineers says. They're willing to pay their fines, and they're going to continue, and nothing's changed. And so going on that, just telling people that, to keep donating, to keep sending their donations, whether it be wood, propane, food, blankets, not really clothes. I think clothes are, that we're definitely set on, winter jackets and snow boots and snow pants and all that good stuff. But, any other way, money, I always say this, if you cannot, donate in any way possible, pray, we need your prayers. This is, this movement and this, and the entire encampment, it was founded, through peace and prayer. And so it was especially, coming from youth. It's extremely impressive to see how far this movement, this encampment has grown. And it's all because of youth. It's all people. I'm 21, and people younger than me, 15-year-olds, 7-year-olds started this movement. And if you think about it, that's extremely impressive. And these people, these youth should be extremely proud of themselves because they started something, and they just encouraging all the other youth to voice their own opinions, that their voices do matter. So just going on that, asking people to donate, anything they can. If they can't donate anything, please pray for us, because this fight isn't over, and we still have a very, very long way to go to kill this black snake, which is the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Thank you so much, and we are very, very proud of you. We really, really are. I can't even express how impressed I am. I can't even put it into words, and how proud I am, and how much I pray for this to grow. And it will grow, because
yes,
it's needed, and there's so many people praying for y'all at Standing Rock. And
yes, thank you.
So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll definitely have you back anytime you need something. You
All right,
need to
thank
get
you.
a
Yes.
message out, okay?
All right. Thank you for having us and taking your time to talk to us. I appreciate it.
You bet it. Blessings.
All right. All right. See you later. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
So just to kind of recap here, the fight's not over. We're looking at a situation where people are still able to gather the strength to continue in, minus 17-degree weather, camping after they've been camping there for 4 months. Can you imagine camping for 4 months? The amount of strength that it takes to continue to give up the luxuries of life, the comforts of having a permanent place to stay. Like Ta'Sina was saying, many people have given up their homes, they've given up their jobs, they've given up everything for this fight because they don't want their children to inherit a poisoned planet. Like our friend from the Youth Council has asked, if you don't have any type of resources that you can share to support, you always have your prayers, you always have your good thoughts. One of the things that these psychological operations do, these false victories, the stealing data from our phones, the floodlights, the knowing that they're still working on it, even though the government has finally responded and said, okay, we won't grant the easement. And then in their entitled frame of mind, the oil company says, oh, we're just going to continue. It's cheaper to take the fine than reroute the pipeline. Once they decided, and any type of consultation with the tribe was immaterial. The tribe has said no from the very beginning. One of the first psyops that came out was, no, actually they just completely ignored the DAPL people. They just said, yeah, it's cool. No biggie. Just go right ahead. As I mentioned last week, there is recordings out there of the tribe saying no vehemently in 2014. So now we have winter getting really harsh, and we still have thousands of people there that need your support because they're giving up the comforts of home for you and for us, all of us that still have our comforts. So, and there's no hateration about it. What are you gonna do? It's that's the other thing that I wanted to kind of point out was that the communications issue, all that messing with communications that the police have been doing, it's part of their psychological operations. The confusion that's going on right now in camp, that's a psyop right there. That is by design. That is on purpose. And so far, the people have overcome every single thing that they've thrown at them. And they'll overcome this too. They absolutely will. So please keep supporting. Please keep listening. I thank every one of you who's supported this show. Please visit our sponsors as well. I rarely mention them because there's always so much to talk about. But the sponsors are Done Right Buffalo Sauce, and we've got Health Max CBD oils. We will be doing another No Dapple show next week, and we're gonna keep on this and keep everybody informed about what's really going on the ground. So we'll stay in touch and let you all know what's going down. Again, I thank all my listeners who've supported me over the years. I love you all.